One, you're live.
Please stand as you are able and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Welcome to the Board of Trustees meeting for the School Town of Speedway for the 13th of December, 2022. We are working from a 9-item agenda, and the first item on our agenda this evening is to approve the minutes of our last regular meeting on November 8th, 2022.
I'll move that we approve the minutes from the November 8th meeting.
Thank you.
I'll second that.
Thank you. Is there any discussion or commentary on the minutes? Hearing and seeing none, would all those in favor of approval of the minutes please signify? That passes unanimously. Thank you. Okay.
Minutes are signed.
Thank you very much. The second agenda item this evening is to approve the transfer of budget appropriations. Dr. Shrubsy?
Thank you, Mr. President. Each year, a matter of routine business is to authorize the school corporation treasurer, Nancy Johnson, to adjust budget appropriations as permissible and necessary to close the financial books in the proper manner for 2022. A complete record of these adjustments will be presented to the board for consideration in January. The recommendation is to authorize the treasurer to make such budget adjustments as necessary to close the books for 2022 in a timely manner.
Is there a motion on this?
There is. Mr. President, I move that we approve the transfer of budget appropriations.
Thank you.
I'll second.
Thank you. Is there any discussion or commentary on this motion? Hearing and seeing none, all those in favor of approval of the transfer of budget appropriations to close out the 2022 year, please signify. And that passes unanimously. The third agenda item this evening is to appoint a Board of Finance and to schedule a meeting of said Board of Finance.
In the past, the board has appointed itself and current officers as the Board of Trustees, or the Board of Finance, and the recommendation is to continue that practice. In addition, the recommendation is to set the Board of Finance meeting at 7:15 p.m. on Tuesday, January 10th, 2023.
Thank you.
I move that we appoint ourselves as the Board of Finance and that we schedule the meeting of the Board of Finance for 7:15 on January 10th before our regular meeting.
Thank you.
I'll second.
Thank you. Is there any discussion of this motion? Hearing and seeing none, with all those in favor of approval of the motion to appoint ourselves as the Board of Finance and to schedule our meeting for 7:15 p.m. on Tuesday, January 10th, 2023, please signify. and that passes unanimously. Our fourth agenda item this evening is to approve the 2023 salaries and benefits for the non-teaching groups of employees.
Thank you, Mr. President. The recommendation is to approve the enclosed schedule of the 2023 salaries, wages, and benefits for non-teaching employees. Enclosed is the updated copy.
Yes?
Mr. President, I make a motion that we approve the 2023 salaries and benefits for the non-teaching groups of employees.
Thank you.
I'll second.
Thank you. Discussion or commentary about this motion? Hearing and seeing none. Would all those in favor of approving the 2023 salaries and benefits for non-teaching groups of employees, please signify. That passes unanimously. The fifth agenda item is to review the ESSER funds and the return to instruction plan.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'll bring to your attention, the first one is our return to instruction plans, which was brought forward every 6 months for the last 2 years. This continues from what we decided or what the guidelines were from this last summer, that masks are still optional for all Speedway staff members and students. And what we do on a positive COVID test still at this time, we still do some reporting to the state of Indiana through the health department, whatnot. So that's part one, the guidelines that we are required by state to at least present and talk about at this time. The second one is the allocations of the ESSER money. It's a little blurry here, but we enclosed now as your ESSER 1, 2, and 3. We have till the end of 2024 to expend this money. We've been using it in a strategic type of way. We believe that, as you guys, we've all discussed and voted on, that people and to help our students in the elementary levels, junior high and high school. ESSER 1 at this point in time is expended at 0% with $368,000. ESSER 2, we still have a little time left on that, where we have $815,000 remaining out of the $1.3 million. And that, again, is on people, so the salaries are scheduled out over the time. That will be exhausted. And finally, ESSER 3 will be expended by the end of 24. So that's where the most money still is, but it'll be paying for people that we added the last 2 years. So we're right on track. This can all be found on the website and through other internet or other spots throughout, like the Department of Education. So this is all transparent. It's what we've been doing since, I think we just said today, 1,005 days ago was March 13th, 2020, when we started this on the COVID. So it's been a few days, and this has been ongoing, and we're right on track where we should be with the money.
Thank you. Are there any questions? The sixth agenda item this evening is to acknowledge the grants received by Speedway schools that total $569,250.57. The seventh agenda item this evening is the personnel report.
We have 5 items on the December 13th, 2022 personnel report. We have 3 individuals who have submitted a letter of resignation. Those include Ronald Ross, a social emotional mentor who was based mainly at Wheeler; Janice Parks, cafeteria worker at Speedway High School; Jessica Williams, teacher at Speedway High School. There's 2 people that we're recommending for employment, and that's Megan Horger, is assistant swim coach at Speedway High School, and Elizabeth Wilkins, who will be a social emotional mentor at Wheeler.
Thank
My
you.
recommendation is to approve the personnel report as presented.
Thank you.
Mr. President, I'll make a motion to approve the personnel report as presented.
Thank you.
I'll second.
Thank you very much. We will at this time hear from someone who wishes to address the action item. Could you please state your name and your address before addressing?
My name is Aubrey Proctor, and I live on 1832 MacArthur Lane.
Thank you.
So, good evening. My name is Aubrey Proctor. I'm a 16-year-old junior at Speedway High School. As of May 2024, I will be the third generation to graduate from the infamous Howard J. Lacey. I'm the granddaughter of Joseph Joe Proctor, daughter of Christopher Chris Proctor, and sister of Sarah Proctor. I live life with Speedway spark plugs across my chest as a cheerleader, student council representative, member of the choir, member of the National Honor Society, and varsity baseball manager. There isn't a part of me that doesn't include Speedway. Now, you may not recognize me, but there's probably been a time or two where I've sat you or brought you your food at Dawson's on Main. I live, walk, and breathe in the shadow of these family members. Their names are plastered on the walls of our school. You can find my grandfather as one of the members of the first men's golf team to win a championship trophy for Speedway. My father on the second and last men's golf team to win Speedway a championship trophy. My sister on the boards for passing AP exams after being in test groups when Speedway wanted to try out new AP subjects before placing them on the class list. You won't find my name on those boards, but maybe one day when the results come out in July for one of the 3 AP classes I'm in right now. I would like to share a little bit about why I'm here at this meeting when I could be doing homework for one of my classes or hang out with my friends like a regular teenager. I'm here because of my dream of being an educator. There will always be a fight, so how will I learn if I don't start now? Mrs. Jessica Williams, quote-unquote, resigned as a teacher from Speedway High School. Mrs. Williams is a kind-hearted, loving, compassionate, and positive person. She was never hesitant to allow me in her room when I needed extra time to study during one of my extracurriculars, and she sprung to the opportunity to help me raise funds for the music department in any of our fundraisers. Now, I'm not here to point fingers, but if the shoe fits, wear it. There was a message sent out via Parent Square regarding Williams resigning, and as a student, it was lackluster at best. In the past, I sadly have questioned some hires made by the board, but I appreciate you for hiring people like Jessica Williams, Eileen Tepp, Andrew Wills, Brian Passwater, Chuck Bennett, and so many more great educators and faculty members. Here's where I explain how much I know about the Jessica Williams situation. All she wished for was support and assistance in her adjustment to the new school. When she requested for these bare minimum tasks, she was told, well, why didn't you do this? Why didn't you do this the way I would? Instead of the respect and understanding a boss should have for their employee. I've been told numerous times that I'm just a little girl and my voice isn't loud enough for you to hear me. But for all my basketball fans, you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. So here's me shooting my shot. What the administration did to her is sickening, forcing out a teacher for protecting her students when no one else would, when they had given up on them, an administration run by a man who doesn't have kids, doesn't understand kids, but can somehow protect us and lead us in the right direction. It's time to break the cycle. Time to change something that should have never been broken to begin with. It's time we start looking at students as people with feelings and life outside of school and less as test scores and zeros on a check. So please, stop taking my teachers from me and hundreds of other students. Because if another ICP teacher is gone in less than a year due to the target on their back, there shouldn't be any shock, since none have stayed for long. And I just want to thank you for the opportunity to speak tonight. I know this is probably not what you were expecting, but this is something I feel very strongly about, and I hope you take my words into consideration.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there any further discussion or commentary on the motion? Hearing and seeing none. Would all those in favor of approving the personnel report as moved, please signify. That passes unanimously. The 8th agenda item is to recognize the visitors and to address any other business that stands. Is there any other business to bring before the board? I have one piece, and that is to thank you for your more than 20 years of service to the school town of Speedway, Debbie.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
It's been my honor and pleasure to work with all of you and those before you, so thank you very much.
I'd like to congratulate Debbie for 22 and a half years of service here for Speedway, the community and the town. I'd also like to thank President Bill Harding for 24 straight meetings that he's just accomplished here. So it's been a long 2 years, but I appreciate you and the rest of your board members, and again, thank you for your 22 and a half years. Thank you.
At this time, we will adjourn to approve claims. Thank you all very much.